Hello friends, my name is Mr. Snugs, and today I'm bringing you a team deathmatch on Grid, or WMD, with the Commando, with Dual Mag, and it's pretty good gameplay. It's 26-2, but it's a little bit slower paced, and it's 6 minutes, so... Today I want to talk to you guys about the time I almost died, and this was just 3 days ago. So first off, I was just sitting in my computer, watching videos, and it was getting late, so I wanted to set my bed. I was like, you know what, I want to sleep soon, so I'm just gonna take my blanket and throw it on the bed. So I take my blanket, which is big and bulky and fat. I don't know why I'm using it, like, because it's the middle of summer and it's really hot, but I use it anyways because I love it and it's comfy. So I take it and I bundle it all up, and I put it on top of my head, and I'm gonna put it on my bed, right? So I put it on top of my head and I set it down, but as I'm setting it down, it touches my fan. Now my fan goes super fast. I love it. Well, I used to love it. It goes really fast, and it just cools me to no end, and it was like my best friend. Not really, but it was really good for summertime, especially since I'm in South Florida. So it was going really fast when the blanket just touched it. It barely touched it. It skimmed it. It's a blanket. What is it going to do? So it just barely skims one of the blades, and that blade just skyrockets, just rockets off, breaks off the fan, and slams into the wall. So scary. So it pegs the wall, and there's like a dent, a little tiny dent in the wall. The paint's like chipped, and there's like scratches all over it. And now the fan, I would say, is totally unbalanced. Like, it's like going side to side because it lost some of the bulbs, it lost one of the blades. It's totally going to go off balance. It's going side to side like it's an earthquake going on. It's squeaking really loudly. The blade just made a huge sound. Everybody in my house hears. I was terrified. So the first thing I try to do is I throw the blanket down and I try and crawl out of the room. Just like a soldier would on the battlefield, just like terrified that a grenade's gonna hit him or something. So I'm crawling out. I was super terrified. The first thing, I had to cover my head because I thought the fan was just gonna explode or something, or more stuff was gonna fall off it, but luckily nothing else fell off it. So my dad comes and he's like, oh my god, what's going on? And my mom and my brother also come. They're like, oh, you're an idiot, whoa, what's happening? So my dad, nobody's brave enough to go up and touch the fan. So my dad goes into the garage, and there's like this panel thing that turns off the power. And he meant to only turn off the power in my room, but instead he turned off the power in the whole house for like 20 seconds. And then he finally turns the power back on, and then he turns off the power in my room. And while he's doing that, me and my mom and my brother are discussing. We're like, oh, how did this happen? What broke the fan? Did it just spontaneously break? I'm like, no, it was my big blanket. I'm sorry. My blanket just skimmed the fan. And then my mom's like, don't tell your dad, he'll get mad at you. You're such an idiot. And then my brother's like, oh, you're dumb. And then, so my dad comes. He's like, nobody moved. There might be glass on the floor because of the light bulbs. But then I only had like one working light bulb on that thing, so we just found it on the floor and we picked it up. And then my dad's like, how did it break? And then I'm like, it just did. And then my dad's like, what, did you like put your blanket on or something? And he guessed exactly right. And then all three of us just laughed, even though I almost died. So then, now I have to use some really shitty fan. And that shitty fan barely keeps me cold. I'm like burning up every night now. But I barely use that comforter anymore. Like, I still love it though. I just have no more fan. Well, my fan is still on the ceiling, but it's just there and it's broken. And I'll do an aftermath right after this where I'll just show you the damage that happened. And I could have died because that blade that I was talking about that hit the wall was only a couple feet away from me. Just a few feet away. Oh, if that nailed me in the neck, I would have died. So, thanks, and now I'm going to show you what happened in my room. So here I was, standing right in this very position. Doesn't this fan look awkward to you? It's so uneven. The missing blade should be there. And this is the nice blanket I was talking about. And it's my favorite thing in the world. And it just got me in a lot of trouble. And this is the blade that was once attached to that. So I was standing right in this very position, and I just had this on top of my head. A little bit of it hit this fan, and the blade flew off into the wall right there. And this is exactly my vision of how it went down. The fan was shaking, 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 shaking. I was terrified. So I went like this. Like, I went low, and it went right through the door, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, what's going on? What's going on?" And I was terrified too. And this is the remnants of what happened. These two used to be attached to the fan, including this. Just picture a little brown chubby boy trying to escape his room like in a war zone. What could have been destroyed was my computer, this thing that covers the window, my nice trophies for nothing, and even my little mole project, you know, the 10th grade mole project. It's carrot mole, he's a carrot. And now I have to use this crappy fan for everything, which doesn't really blow very far. That's how it works. And here's the dent thing in the wall it made, like the paint chipped, and all this stuff happened. And this was just there before, and because I thought lizards would come out of this hole, so I put tape on it, and it happened before we even bought the house. And that's a story of how I almost died. Thank you.